Here we are again back at the village, which is still closed to the public at the moment, but there are workers inside because they're still accepting donations. They gave the donation area a little facelift too. I like that the curb and pylons and sign are all bright green. It's a good look, but I'd rather take a look inside, so sit back with a snack while I transport us back to Wednesday, March 6th. 2019, when they had a Magnus electric chord organ for $10. If you enjoy refurbishing things, these sell for about $50 US on eBay, and I guess people are willing to pay another $50 for shipping. If you wanted something in better condition, they had a Bon Tempi keyboard that was far less gunky, also for $10. I see these vintage toy organs at the village quite a bit. In fact, they had one on Sunday, April 25th, 2021. This was my last trip to the village before the most recent lockdown, so I wonder if it'll be there on Wednesday, June 3rd when they reopen. Oh, and check this out. Here's another keyboard that they had the last time I was there. It might seem familiar because it was featured in episode 6, and now the price tag is in a different spot, so we can verify that it is a Kawasaki keyboard. It was $10, but now here we are 2 years and another owner later, and they want $13. Man, I was enamored with this keyboard. Look at me. I'm all hands, propping it up to make it stand out, as if it needs the help. It's a Kawasaki keyboard. It sells itself, cause if it's gonna be fun to say, it's gotta be fun to play. Not like this keyboard. I don't even see any branding. It's like this thing was so embarrassing nobody wanted to put their name on it. Wow, I didn't even notice until I zoomed in on the picture just now, but those aren't actually speakers, it's just blue plastic. Here's another keyboard from my last visit, a Rhythmic 2. I really wanted to plug it in just to hear what kind of drum sounds it has, but there was no power adapter, and I'm sure it just sounds like junk anyways. On March 15th, 2019, they had a few Polaroid cameras. In our last episode, I mentioned that I wasn't into these cameras. That hasn't changed, although these, they look kinda cool, I guess. Especially the 640 on the right there. I still didn't buy it, and I don't regret not buying it, but do you know what camera I definitely do regret not buying? On the same day they had this Akarex that came with a Xenon 50mm f2 lens and custom leather case for $15. I tell ya, having these old photos and videos is a blessing and a curse. It's great because I can continue to make episodes during lockdowns, but it's horrible because I see stuff like this and it makes me feel ill. I'm not even kidding, I feel like someone kicked me right between the legs with a frozen boot. I could look at this thing for another hour while I seethe internally, but I gotta move on before I give myself an ulcer. Hey, this thing's pretty cool. I mean, it isn't give yourself an ulcer cool, but it's interesting for sure. It's an accessory for an ATI capture card. At least that's what I suspect it is. You can see that it has a DIN connector, so it might predate USB, but I have my doubts. This would be great to have because it has inputs for S-video and composite video. Of course, for this thing to be of any use, you'd need the capture card to install in your PC plus the drivers and software that runs it, so this would be better off on eBay, as hard as it is for me to admit that. It's also hard for me to admit that I thought that this was a Wii U right up until I was writing this voiceover. Seriously, I took this picture back on March 21st, 2019, and ever since I've regretted not buying the only Wii U that I've ever seen at the village. So realizing that it's just a black Wii, that kind of makes me feel better for not getting it. Who the hell am I kidding? It doesn't make me feel better at all. It's black Wii, look how cool it looks! But it's not all bad. 2 days before this, I noticed an N64 on the shelf. This is a console that I've been after for a while, but I've never been lucky enough to nab one. Plus, I've never seen any of the controllers here before. They go real fast. So I instinctively left this one behind because it was pretty gross. But it did have the power adapter. I've passed on N64s in the past because they didn't have one of those, so I said, what the hell, and I ended up taking this one home. I just bought a controller and an AV cable online. Anyways, let's just keep on trucking. And let's finish strong with some video clips that I shot during my last visit to the village, starting off with this $10 salt lamp. I see that it has an actual tungsten bulb in there. That's probably important for its hygroscopic healing properties, if you're into that sort of thing. Well, it turns on, so the lamp part works out. And I was going to see if it was actually made out of salt, but I probably would have gotten arrested, or at the very least banned from the store if anybody caught me licking this thing, so I just left it behind. Oh, what's this? A power brick for some kind of, I don't know, it's like a laptop or something. It has the BlackBerry logo on it, but it's way too big to be a cell phone charger. Maybe? Yeah, what the hell do we have here? It's a leather case with the Canon logo on it. Ooh, well, hot damn, definitely checking this out. Oh, and holy crap, it's an old school home movie camera. A Canon Zoom 518 Super 8 film camera to be exact. And it's in absolutely fantastic condition. And it's $15. Okay, no need to cause a scene. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this home with me so I can geek out in private later. But first, we can't leave the store without checking in on the glass display to see what they've got cooking, and on March 11th, 2019, they had a bunch of games for a whole slew of consoles like the Wii, PS1 and 2, Xbox, Xbox 360, Atari 2600, Nintendo DS, SNES, PSP, GameCube, and the N64. And look at this. $7 for an N64 Star Wars game. What the hell happened in the last 2 years? They used to charge $7 for an N64 Star Wars game, and now they're charging over twice as much for N64 sports titles. It's borderline infuriating. They should be charging $5 at the most for retro sports titles. And I know what you're thinking. They would never charge so little for a Nintendo game, even if it is a sports title. But 2 years ago they would have. Here's a card-only copy of NHL Stanley Cup for the Super Nintendo. $5. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, you want to see something even more mind-blowing? That's right. John Madden Football and EA Sports NHL 94, both priced at $3 each. Sure, the cards are a little messed up, but who among us isn't a little messed up these days? Alright, well, that brings this little stroll through the village to an end, but I've got some great news. The lockdown is over, and tomorrow morning I will be arriving a half hour before they open so I can be first in line to see what they've got on the shelves. Is it sad that I'm experiencing more anticipation for this than I am for my own birthday or Christmas? I just love making these videos for you, so I'm excited to get some new footage of stuff to have fun with, because that's the name of the game here in the village. We never make fun of, we only have fun with. So I'll be seeing you again real soon, right here in the Village of Values.